students, it's time now for listening. Narrator, today I am going to give a talk about one of the most famous writers of science fiction, Arthur C. Clarke. He was born in England in 1917. The son of a farmer, he was always interested in science, but his father died and his family did not have much money, so Clark had to find work as soon as he finished school. He got a job with the government, although he wrote for science magazines in his free time. He was able to develop his skills in science during the Second World War. When he worked with radar, this system was being used for the first time to help planes to land. Many science articles by Clark had been published in magazines before the war ended. He predicted satellites, television in one article. Later, his science fiction stories were also published in magazines. Clark decided to go to university after the war and he graduated in math and physics. He became the editor of a science magazine and continued to write articles and stories. Many of his stories were about people traveling into space in rockets. Soon he was famous as a writer and also as a scientific consultant. Scientists and technicians knew that Clark could be asked about spaceships and satellites, and he was happy to talk about his ideas. In 1964, Clark was asked to work on a film for the famous director Stanley Kubrick. The director wanted to make a film of one of Clark's short stories. This became 2001: A Space Odyssey. The film about traveling far into space has been watched by many millions of people since it was made in 1968. After serious illness, Clark was in a wheelchair for many years and he died in 2008. But he is remembered as a great scientist as well as a writer. The Arthur C. Clarke Foundation has promoted the use of technology to improve the quality of life in developing countries. And there are now parts of space that have been named after him. After listening, now it's time to answer the questions. طبعا exercise number 2, check the meanings of these words in your dictionary. Consultant means advisor معناها مستشار. Director means a manager or administrator معناها مدير أو مخرج. Physics is a study of laws of nature معناها اللي هي طبعا دراسة الطبيعة. And the study of characteristics of the matter and energy وطبعا خصائص المادة والطاقة. Radar means a system of locating objects ونظام استشعار عن البعد أو تحديد أماكن الأشياء. Technician means a specialist in technical details متخصص في النواحي الفنية. طيب نيجي foundation means طبعا يعني establishment هي منظمة firm شركة خلاص بتيجي بالمعنى ده. Exercise number 4, listen again and choose the correct information. Number 2, Arthur C. Clarke went to university ولا got a job when he finished school. طبعا he came from a poorer family so he got a job. هنختار got a job. C. During the war he worked with spaceships or radar. طبعا أثناء الحرب he worked with radar. His science fiction stories were published in books or magazines. طبعا was published in magazines. E. Many of his stories were about people traveling into space or under the sea. طبعا كل أعماله بتتكلم عن people traveling into space. If scientists and technicians asked Clarke about his ideas for radar or satellites استعانوا بيه في أفكاره عن الساتلايتس الأقمار الصناعية. G. Arthur C. Clarke helped the director to make a film one or three of his stories. طبعا هو شارك في إعداد قصة دي أو تحويلها لفيلم. one it was one of his story. The film 2001 A Space Odyssey was not ولا was very popular. طبعا الفيلم ده was very popular نجح جدا. نيجي بقى الاكسرسايز 6 هو بيتكلم عن مشتقات الكلمة. يعني مثلا ايه حللها؟ electricity جاي منها electrician معناها كهربائي. طيب هنا my brother wants to become وجايب لي كلمة، عايز مني كلمة مشتقة من politics السياسة، اللي هي طبعا politician سياسي، اسم الشخص منها politician سياسي. C after studying ancient history Mona became and طبعا كلمة مشتقة من archaeologist اللي هي عالمة آثار. D we want to buy some medicine from كلمة مشتقة من chemicals طبعا from the chemists اللي هي الصيدلية. نتمنى لكم الإفادة والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.